Dark energy is weakening and the universe could eventually collapse, they say. Oh, my sweeties, how you're wrong. We have to remember that even scientists, even newscasters, have what is called a personality and a belief filter, and we have to question those. I'm about to tell you why dark energy weakening actually means that our consciousness is evolving and that we're learning how to work with the universe in a more efficient way, which is causing dark energy to what they think is collapse. It's really just slowing the rate that the universe is expanding, and it all has to do with plasma, our consciousness, and literal magic. Oh, the tales we weave. So in science, dark energy is a mysterious force that scientists think has to do with the accelerated expansion of the universe, and they're correct. The problem is they're missing emotion and psychology, which is literally fundamental to our universe, as is consciousness. And somehow we leave that out. It's like we're walking around as humans without emotions. No. Emotions is the universal language, and that should be applied to science. I have a lovely little theory that dark energy is just the particles of desire. It is our desire, it is our creating from the place of desire and our soul and our heart that expands the universe. In religion, they think that desire is bad. Desire is good when it's used the right way. The problem is we haven't been using it the right way because we've been in fear instead of curiosity and love for like eternity until now because we're awakening. Just like a bubble minimizes its surface area to efficiently contain more volume, our universe is like a bubble that is optimizing its expansion by balancing this plasma that our universe is made out of. As our consciousness evolves, it is helping the universe expand more efficiently, which is slowing it down, so it won't ever burst. We are learning how to be a generating torus. It is literally reflecting what's happening in humanity right now. Instead of being chaotic little children with our heads cut off, or more correctly would be our bodies cut off, we're learning to harmonize with this plasma, this universe, this energy, with our consciousness, which is what I'm writing a book about. The link is in my bio. And with this, our universe is reflecting the same process of learning how to become self-sufficient and harmonize, becoming this toroidal shape. At some point, being able to feed back into itself and create new things. So even though it's deterministic in a way, but with structure, with determinism comes free will, which will grow out of the determinism, if that makes any sense. So just like in creativity and art, with structure comes free will. There is still a pool of endless possibilities within this universe. Even if there is a boundary to the universe, it can go on infinitely inside of it and like this, creating new timelines, fresh choices for humanity, the same way a person can constantly reinvent themselves. I hope that made sense. I'm still refining this, okay? There's something called the cosmological constant by Einstein that explains the universe's expansion. I would call it the cosmological flux. It is an emergent property of what I call plasma consciousness synergy, which, to explain it very easily, is just how our three-dimensional consciousness works with energy, or what I call the living ether or plasma or reality, and how it feeds back with reality to create emergent properties, like our perspective, or when you manifest something you want, or in this case, on a grander scale, our collective consciousness and all our desires and creations with plasma that I literally think makes up space and time. You can say quark glue on plasma, but I think it's a finer plasma than that, just the base energy of our freaking universe. That's like a ether plasma. The way that ether plasma, that special type of plasma, intertwines with consciousness or light, and how they feed back with each other on a large scale. What emerges from that is dark energy, which expands our universe. So us little humans creating out of our desire is what expands the universe. And as we learn to create more efficiently from our heart and souls versus our egos, versus chaotic freakazoidness, the universe reflects that because plasma is reflective, like a mirror, reflects your consciousness, people. And the universe is also learning how to have efficiency with plasma. That is what would slow the expansion. It doesn't mean we're about to have a big crunch. It doesn't mean we're dying or going to blow up. It just means that it's slowing the expansion, just like how you get older and learn patience and wisdom, and you do things slower but more efficient. The universe is a plasma bubble of intelligence, people. And I know it sounds a little cray-cray, but once you start thinking about it, it's like, so obvious. So what does this mean for humanity? Very cool things. I'm happy to get into like the math and physics of this, more if you want. Just let me know if you want like a detailed like 20-minute YouTube on this. Really quick, I just want to shout out my friend Jason Padgett. I talk about him all the time. He's an acquired savant, and he recently came up with a math equation called predicting the cosmological constant from qubit geometry. I'm going to do another video on that. Basically, he derived the cosmological constant, which has to do with dark energy in science and expanding the universe, from what he calls angular frequency, which you could just think of as your choice in consciousness, your conscious awareness, and how you're using light or consciousness. That geometry encoded on qubits, which are literally, he says, made of quantum quark gluon plasma. So at a finer level, it would be the living ether plasma we speak of. Can't be proven in science yet. But quark gluon plasma is great for this analogy. So plasma and what he calls angular frequency or consciousness encoded on a plasma, and their synergy is how what is derived from that is the cosmological constant, which is exactly what I'm saying. So when I read that, I had this crazy brain explosion, and then I was able to think of this. So I just want to give credit where credit's due. He basically says space is a plasma of encoded probabilities, or plasma with infinite potential, and time is an emergent property of angular frequency phase evolution, which is just how our little 3D consciousness creates linear time. Anyway, pretty cool stuff. So why does this matter for humanity? That's the point, right? Well, number one, dark energy and the cosmological content is not constant, is not static. It is the cosmological flux. It is in flux based on our freaking consciousness evolution, which literally connects science with psychology or metaphysics or spirituality. It should all be connected anyway, because everyone in science leaves emotion out of everything, which I talked about at the beginning of the video. I love science though. But science cannot explain humanity or relationships without emotion. It can solve things. There's great uses, technology, health, but emotion is a missing part. So, collective desires contribute to the expansion of the universe. These are desires from your heart and soul now, which is like unconditional love, curiosity, wanting to do things to help people versus just money or just power or just control. Actually, like do things for none of those things. Let money come to you. But we're learning as a human race to do things from our heart and soul versus our ego. And with that, our universe is becoming less chaotic, which is why it's expanding slower. It is more harmonized. In this case, as we continue to evolve, it should continue to slow down, so it won't burst or crunch. We're so smart. Once again, dark energy is just the emergent intelligence of plasma consciousness synergy, or our creations. It is an emergent property that needs our consciousness and plasma to continue. We're special as a human race. We are not ants. You're special. You following your heart and soul. Don't do the universe a disservice. Help it harmonize. Follow your love. Don't live life any longer from fear, you. Oh, and just for anyone who's like really curious and a math or science geek. So this is the equation that shows as consciousness interacts more efficiently with plasma, the expansion will continue, but it becomes more structured and efficient, just like a bubble, minimizing surface area for the same volume. Does this to save energy. It's intelligent in a sentient way. Anyway, you could screenshot this and look this up in your own time. I think this also has to do with how games work. We're plasma bubbles. So is the universe. Our consciousness is inside of them. Also, basically, if you think of 0 point energy as latent potential as this ether plasma, the 0 point energy is before our consciousness interacts with it. And in science, you would say the 0 point energy and what Jason calls angular frequency, or I would call consciousness. The interaction of the two leads to the cosmological constant. So basically, it proves my plasma consciousness synergy theories, this is my equation based off Jason's equation using holonic metadynamics. It's just a holistic framework I made. Okay, with this understanding, the implications. Consciousness is the modulator of plasma. Humanity can be trained to harness plasma in harmony to consciously create desired outcomes, personally and collectively. It has to align with our heart and soul, that we were obviously programmed by some mystery or God or universe, where it can't just be like a bad desire. Those can happen, but they decohere very fast, as we see in history. This proves visualization can work, believing in yourself works. It proves how energy healing can work. It proves we're co-creators of the universe. Aligning with your heart and soul is the main key here. We have to transform fear-based desires into empowering intentions. We have to teach kids this at a young age. They're co-creators. School needs to be revamped. Emotions are at the core of this. Screenshot this. I'm running out of time. If you use thought, your underlying emotion is messed up. The plasma reads the emotion first. Healing emotions is everything.